A lot of people today, when talking about entertainment and stories in general, cannot grasp the fact that some things are better unexplained. Wes, hi everybody, and welcome to another video. And it is time, my dear friends, for another lecture. Oh yes, recently I have received comments that said that my videos are too lectury. Well, why else would I be making videos than provide you with some common sense, my dear friends? Please do look at the screen. And Screen Rant, they have once again written something extraordinarily dumb. It says, 10 Lord of the Rings mysteries that Tolkien's canon never answered. Now, you would say that Screen Rant are only writing articles to be clickbaity and to get as much clicks and likes and retweets as possible. That is, of course, true. 100% you are correct. However, if you think about the matter at hand, if you think about this particular question, you have to also remember the fact that what the entertainment industry today is doing more and more, and has been doing for a couple of years now, is precisely that which we shouldn't do, and that is try to answer each and every single question to each and every single detail in fictitious stories. To expand upon those stories as much as possible without the knowledge or the involvement of the original author, because, of course, in many cases, the author is not among us anymore. And that has been happening to everything, not only to the works of Professor Tolkien, through all the different TV shows and streaming services like The Rings of Prime, or the various video games like Gollum, or the newly upcoming Mines of Moria, or whatever it is, the Minecraft in Middle-earth, as I call it. But also, there have been many new Star Wars products coming from Disney. Of course, Star Wars is very well known to have had an expanded universe even before Disney, but that's a little bit different there. What matters is that that which was the expanded universe before the arrival of the mouse was all sanctioned by Lucasfilm, by his office. And that means that, oh yes, this can be a canon. Those stories, those little snippets and bits and pieces can be expanded upon. They can be explained. Various different small characters and side characters can be, made into their own protagonists of their own stories. But then you have to think about one-and-done stories, one-and-done, either books or films or whatever, that should be left alone. For instance, once again, let us say The Terminator. 1 and 2, fantastic stories, self-contained, beautiful, move on. No, they have to make sequel upon a sequel upon a sequel. From here and there, in the 80s and in the 90s, there were, for example, comic books published by various publishers like Dark Horse Comics about further adventures of the aliens. But then again, those were one-and-done stories and chapters from the lives of, for example, different space marines encountering the xenomorph aliens again. So on and so forth. But if we specifically look at the genre of fantasy of the 20th century, or mysteries such as H.P. Lovecraft, not only Tolkien, some things are better left unexplained. And that can be applied to all stories, not only to Tolkien and H.P. Lovecraft. And why am I mentioning H.P. Lovecraft? He was a master of really not telling, of saying that there was an unimaginable, indescribable horror before the eyes of the protagonist. And then it is up to each and every single reader to imagine what the horror is. And that's one of the first reasons why we shouldn't explain everything, because the explanation might disappoint you. The Screen Rant article.com, and I'm not going to venture into it, I'm not going to provide them with the attention they want. They mention, for example, who is Tom Bombadil? What is the identity of all the Nazgul? What is the precise fate of the blue wizards? What did Frodo do in Valinor and how long did he live there? I mean, come on, do we really need to know all this? Is it not better to theorize about Tom Bombadil among fans over and over again? There are 1,000 fans, and 1,000 fans will have 1,000 different ideas about who Tom Bombadil is. Some people are saying that he's one of the Valar. Some people are saying that he's Eru himself. Some people are saying that he's just Tom Bombadil, as he describes himself. Just a guy on his own, independent, not really being this or another. And to be honest, I like this explanation the most. But the idea of not explaining anything or something, not only is it more interesting, not only is it more intriguing, not only does it provide room for interpretation in each and every single fan's or reader's or spectator's mind, but also it helps to practice and exercise your imagination. We people in today's society, and that does not only concern entertainment, but it's a society in general, are very much used to be served everything on a silver platter. Entertainment is very easy to get. It's not good, but it's easy to get. You just click a button and you've got one streaming service or another going. And it really concerns everything. You can go to a bloody McDonald's restaurant at midnight and get a hamburger. Well, then you look like a little whale, but you can do that. People have been accustomed now to a very comfortable life. And really, after all, after so many years of comfortable lives and being able to get everything, and now I'm only talking about the, of course, quote-unquote civilized Western society, life gets boring because, when you can get everything, it's just really, you can't be excited too much about anything. You're not truly excited about anything. You're not truly happy about anything because you can have everything so easily. And so I say that we don't need an explanation about Tom Bombadil. We don't need to know who he is. We don't need an entire TV show by Prime Video or Netflix or Disney about Tom Bombadil and his origins and his adventures. We don't need that. And I know that some people would like that. But trust me, no, you are better off not knowing. You're really better off not knowing. And then when Tolkien was, for example, writing about the Blue Wizards, he wrote, and I am paraphrasing, of course, that they went into the East, not to be heard of again. Well, that's full stop. Tolkien was presenting his stories, specifically, and that's what he wrote and said, as if he went into an old library, found some old books, found some old scrolls, and just translated them into English. So he was telling a story that had been already written, that had been already there, by the prehistory. It's almost forgotten stories that he was just interpreting. And if there was no mention in those old scrolls and old archives and old annals about the Blue Wizards, how can we know? How can he know? He couldn't know. Because the scripts and the archives and the annals don't mention those Blue Wizards. They went into the East, not to be heard of again. Do you want to know what happened to them? I don't know. What if they just didn't do anything interesting? What if they just settled in a little cottage among the Easterlings? And I don't know. What if they became sheep shepherds? Would that be an interesting story? To read 1,000 pages about two blue wizards being shepherds of sheep, living their lives ordinarily, day by day. I don't know. Who knows? That might have happened. But it would be quite a boring story. Not everything has to be explained into a length and into detail. All right, then. But not to take much of your time, I would like you to tell me what you think about this entire matter. Do you like to have everything explained? Would you like to know who Tom Bombadil is? Would you like to know the origins and the detailed stories of all the Nazgul? Or are you okay with what we already have? Let me know in the comments down below. And that will be all. Thank you very much for watching. And Namarie.